Hello. This has been a video I've been wanting to film for a long time now, but I just am now finding the time to do so. The day I filmed with Jessie, in the morning I went to go get my personal color checked again with my friend, but this time at a different place. And the thing about this place is we had to book an appointment like 5 months in advance because it's such a popular place. We don't know what personal color is. Personal color is just, it's divided by seasons: spring, summer, fall, winter, and each season has its own sort of like kind of set of colors. So whatever season you are, those sets of colors will suit you. Generally, winter and summer are cool, while spring and fall are warm. And I've said this in so many videos, and before this, I got my personal color done twice, and both times came out as fall, warm, mute. Now, within each season, there's also bright, there's mute, and there's like vivid and all that. But anyway, I thought I was fall, warm, mute, and so I continue to do so. And also for years, people have always told me like, oh, Edward, you're Asian, you are obviously super yellow and warm toned. So I went along with it because I was like, yeah, I guess so. But I went to this new place and it turns out that I am summer cool mute. I'm still mute, which is kind of like toned down, kind of like not super bright, vivid colors. To be honest, I always had a feeling that I was cool toned. This is not to say that the first person I went to was like wrong. I think it just depends on like the lighting and like the person giving you the consultation is a person, so everyone's gonna have different eyes, obviously. The newer place that I went to did it in front of like this big open window in the morning. The sunlight's like right in your face, and this person only does 2 appointments in a day, so. But yeah, I always felt like I always suited cooler toned hair more. I was always more attracted to silver jewelry. And whenever I used pink tone foundations, you know, just because I had them, you know, like, oh, what if I try this? They always looked a little bit better than me, like warm tone foundations. And surprisingly, talking to a lot of my friends around me, I have a lot of cool tone friends around me, and I don't think it even has anything to do with the lightness or darkness of your skin. I assume for the longest time that if your skin is tan, you're automatically more warm tone, but that's not the case apparently. So I encourage you that whether you're Asian or, you know, somewhere that is most people would assume are warm tone, I would encourage you to find your personal color. So today's video is gonna be where I'm doing kind of half makeup. One half with makeup I used to wear, and then the other half would be makeup that I'm into now. I've literally just been buying cool tone, like I put all my cool tone makeup here, and I would never wear it, so it'd always just be sitting in my drawer. But now that I know that I'm cool toned and everything looks much better on me, it's become so much easier to shop for makeup because, especially in K-beauty, a lot of brands don't make cool tone makeup. One thing though is that these days cool tone makeup is kind of becoming a trend, so it's kind of convenient that I find out that I'm cool tone because it's also a trend right now. I don't know whether it's because I'm actually cool tone or because it's just a trend. I'm like tired of warm makeup, but to me it's just fun because finally I get to use more cool tone makeup. I was getting so tired of all those goddamn warm tone palettes, and yeah. Anyway, intro over. This has nothing to do with warm or cool, but I'm gonna apply a base. This is from W Lab, the jewelry base rose quartz, and I saw this on Pony's channel, so I literally, as she was talking, I have YouTube Premium, so I could play it in the background. So as she was talking in the background, I ordered it on Coupang, and I like it. It's supposed to help your foundation go on much better, and I got it because it's so cold lately. Every foundation is just looking super dry on me. And also the thing is, when you get your personal done, specifically in Korea, I don't know if they do this in other places, but besides color, they also check whether matte makeup or shiny makeup suits you. And apparently I look better with matte makeup, so I've kind of just been getting mostly matte foundations or using matte foundations. You know, the thing about warm tone foundation, I will say, over cool tone is that because it's warmer, it kind of covers things better than cool tone foundation, in my experience. Especially for things like my dark spots and stuff. You guys know I love Chungseomur, and so I would always use her medium. Her shades are pretty much the same across most of her foundations. Not really the newer ones, but I would always use medium. And Chungseomur before was a very yellow based brand with their foundations. But looking back at my videos now where I would use the foundation, my face looks so yellow. And the thing is, whenever a cool tone tends to use a more warm tone foundation, you know, you see beauty gurus put foundation on, it's like orange and then like pale, or not even just beauty gurus, but people in general, when it's just like orange. Whenever you have warm tone makeup on top of a cool tone, it just looks more, it doesn't look like it's in harmony. It doesn't look like it's in sync. It kind of just stands out. It could come off as looking super yellow or looking super orange. The foundation that I'm using on the cool tone side is the Chanel Ultra Latant. I buy luxury makeup sometimes, but I rarely use it because I feel like I'm wasting it. which makes no sense because I bought it, and if I'm not using it, I'm still wasting it. My friend really recommended this, and he says it really doesn't come up on masks. So I was like, let's try it. And I've been using this every day because we have to wear masks, and this rubs off less compared to other foundations I have. But if you see it compared to, this is the Chanel, and this is the Chungsimmer, very different in undertone. You actually looking at this though, you would think, it's seeing it on my hand, you would think that this would be the one, but when it's on the face, it's her. Also, did you see my nails? I've been getting my nails done a lot recently, and I got kind of, I like black nails, but I was like, let's try something else, because I was just looking through random nail photos, and I saw these ones, and they remind me of Sailor Moon, and they're very cool tone, and so I guess it matches today's video, so I got these. The one thing that's killing me though is that this piece is not center. If you look, it's like off center, and it's really annoying to me, but what can you do? Let's put the warm tone in here. It actually doesn't look bad, but when you see it out in the sun, you can kind of see like a clear, like, it's just too warm for my face. I wouldn't say I'm like straight up cool tone though. I'm more of like a neutral. So I think that's why I can kind of get away with more warm tone as well. That's another thing. When warm toned people use cool tone stuff, it looks very ashy. Like it looks like, kind of like the way warm tone makeup can look orange on some people. On warm tone people, cool tone makeup can make them look ashy. But the thing is with cool tones, they can kind of get away with warm makeup because it's not really unnatural. It kind of gives the face like a certain, it can kind of warm up the face. If it's overly warm, obviously that's when, you know, it looks like you look kind of like you're sweating. In Korean, I would say like, oh, toll boil, like you look hot. She said there's some people like me that have like a wide spectrum in which the number of colors that look okay on you is wider. There's some people where it's like much narrower, but for me, she said my spectrum is wide. So maybe that's why I wasn't like too like about warm tone makeup. But now let's try the more pink tone. This is shade BR12. I think the R just means red. An example of someone that is more on the cool tone side but has more of a deeper skin tone is the guy that I did a collab with, Cha Hyun-sung, the dancer. This foundation dries so freaking quickly. Usually I'm very meticulous about how I put foundation on. I'm very like detailed about it, but girl with this one, she's just like, just put her fucking on because she dries down so quickly. Did you see? Like it was already dry. Don't know if you can see the difference on camera. I don't know, this side just looks more like, oh, my skin tone's even and everything. And this one also looks like, oh, my skin tone's even, but there's like a slight, like my face looks like dull on this side. And it's not like, oh, this foundation is any lighter, it's just more pink toned. I think when you see it, warm tone foundation next to cool tone foundation just looks a little bit deeper maybe sometimes. But yeah, this side just looks more like dull, I guess, while this one just looks like it's, like she's right. I put a little bit of concealer on both sides. Again, I use a cool tone concealer for here and a warm tone here, just for my dark circles and any spots I need to cover. Next I'm doing brows, and conveniently I have a brow kit that has cool and warm shades in here, so I guess I'll do that accordingly. Me though, I've never really been like super concerned with brows. Usually what I do is I'll match the color using a brow mascara. Oh shit, I used the wrong color. I'll kind of fill it in with whatever, to be honest. I generally tend to break down brows by brown or gray. If me or the person has colored hair, then I'll just match after that using a brown mascara that's the appropriate undertone. And whether or not I want the brows to stand out for the lip makeup look or not, it's not gonna make that much of a difference, I don't think. I think no matter what brow color you use, using a slightly more cool toned one is the best anyway. This one, I don't really know if it's cool. The color is pink brown, and my hair is pink, so that's why I'm using it mostly. Or this is just the one I've been using in general lately. It's not necessarily cool toned, but just to match my hair, I'm using this one. The other side definitely though, I think especially compared to that one, is much more warm. I used this for so long, especially when I had blonde hair, like just blonde hair. Oh shit, girl. And now contour. Kind of like with the brow stuff, I tried to do it where it'll be like the same product from the same brand, but just in 2 different shades, and so that's what I'm doing with the contour. These are from Bia. This is the large size of their contour Originally they were blushes, but they were in contour colors, but they just labeled them blushes. But they came out with the 4XL versions, Cool Tone obviously, Peanut Blossom, and then the warm one, Almond Blossom #1. And here you can clearly see one is more warm toned and one is more cool toned. I have way more warmer contouring stuff, but I chose this one just because they're the same product, so I thought it would be best for this video. This is the warm side, right? Yes. One tip I learned from somewhere is that when you're testing makeup, it depends on like the type of makeup looks that you go for. But if you are like a natural makeup type of person like me, when you're swatching stuff in the store and buying makeup, one way to tell that the kind of like shadow is good for you is that it kind of almost, they were saying it in Korean, it made sense to me, like it blends in with your skin, but when you hear that in English you think, oh, like it literally is like your skin tone. That's not the case. It's more like, it's kind of hard to tell sometimes because especially if you have like a really pigmented eyeshadow and you swatch and you're like, oh wow, it's pigmented, this is great. But the colors that work with you are the ones that kind of like almost like they just work with your skin tone. Like if we swatch on the back of your hand, it just like sits well. If it like stands up too much against your skin, apparently that's not, you know, the best. But that's just one thing I heard. Although I am cool tone, like I said, I am mute. So the thing is, with people that have more of the mute personal color, they look better with like not super standouty makeup, which is what I would do. Not only did I wear warm tone makeup, but I would put a lot of it on, and so it would just like, that's why you would always, for the longest time, you'd always see me with like yellow or orange cheeks. At first I was like, oh, the blush, like it's blush, like ugh. It was a trend for a while, so that's one thing. But I would literally be walking around with like orange ass looking cheeks. And in one video I was like, I don't know why, but every time I wear blush, they all end up looking the same on me. It's because they're all warm tone blushes. Usually when you see someone with cool tone wear, let me say this back and forth throughout the whole video, I'm sorry, but if you are cool tone and you wear more warm tone blushes, all you'll see is the yellow or the orange in the blush. You see this? You see how it looks orange already? I see a lot of idols like that in person, and you might even see it as well if you watch like variety shows where, and they turn their head, and you just see like a bunch, or like anything with idols in it. When you see them turn their head around, it's just like brown or like orange. I can understand because, you know, whenever they go film stuff, they have to use really bright lights, so a lot of the makeup can look washed out anyway, but sometimes it's very obvious, especially when they idols that have really pale skin tones, but then they put like a bunch of contour. It just looks so, I want to say bad is the right word, it just looks obvious, and I'm not really a big fan of that. But I can understand where they're coming from. But to be honest, I would never really understood the point of like shading, because even if you contour a lot here, like, you know, they contour a bunch to make you look like you have a V shape, it's still, I don't look at it and think, oh my god, their face looks small. I just look at it and think they have brown on their face. You kind of have to be careful though with cool toned contour, because it can look like a beard, because beards tend to be more cool in color. Here, it just looks orange. Here, it just looks like a beard. So you need to be careful with how much you put. I'm just trying to put so you can see it for the video and get like an idea. But there's the contour side. It's kind of just like, I don't know, to me it just looks like a harmony. Here, it's like, oh, you put makeup on. You know what I mean? And that's like what I don't want. Let me use powder because I'm starting to get shiny. It's getting warm in my room. I have the heater on. Can make. I really like this powder. Is there marshmallow powder or something like that? The thing that's about buying Japanese cosmetics is I can't read them because I can't read Japanese. I don't really have any yellow like pressed powders like this. I do have a powder foundation, so I guess I'll use it on the warm side just for demonstration purpose, but you can clearly see the difference. Keep in mind this will have more coverage though because it is a powder foundation, but I'll try to put a light layer just to mattify. But the marshmallow, actually this one has they have a warm tone version of this as well. Actually no, I had it, but I got rid of it. Oh yeah, I bought the really yellow one in the Get Ready With Me I had from when I went to Japan like last year. That was really fucking yellow, but I was like, oh my god, it looks so good. But then my friends would be like, why do you look so orange? But the marshmallow powder really makes the skin look super, 뭐지? 약간 되게 보송보송하게, like smooth and soft. Now for this one, this is again foundation, so you have to be careful. Hopefully now you're starting to get a clear picture of like the two. This is just base makeup, so once you start getting to like the color makeup, probably just do eyeshadow. Sephora Korea sent me a box of goodies, and Tarte had a bunch of like holiday stuff in there. They had a toasted palette. This is the mini version, and apparently there's like new shades in there, but when you look at this, it's very much, especially if you are into Western beauty, this is literally like what everyone was using, like these kinds of colors for like a while. I myself was super obsessed with colors like this. Hold on this side because I'm gonna use on this side by accident. I was obsessed with colors like this because I'm just like, oh my god, I'm like so warm tone. Like this is very much perfect for fall, people with fall personal color. Very warm, orangey, bronzy stuff, but I've always hated this shade. But I'm like, no, I'm warm tone though. Like it has to look good on me. I hated it for a reason. And for the cool side, I have a lot of cool tone stuff. There's a bunch of cool tone stuff I want to show you because I feel like it's going to be 2021 soon. I think we all starting to get into cool tone palettes because, I don't know, I'm kind of just tired of warm tone palettes. So getting my personal color done, it was just like a breath of fresh air for me. I got excited knowing there's so much more new makeup I could get into because for a while I was like, no, I have to just be into more makeup. But this palette, there's a lot of palettes I've been like switching around because I'm just so excited to try new makeup. But this Beautiful Rose palette from Peripera is actually really popular in Korea right now. The Beautiful Rose palette. And literally rose shades, muted shades, summer shades, like cool tone, summer cool tone shades. This palette was like made for me. So the fact that it came out around the time that I found out that I was summer cool, perfect timing. But there's a bunch of other palettes I want to show you to kind of give you an idea, because it doesn't have to be this palette, like for those of you that want to get into it. This is an expensive one, but it's like right next to me. The Dior Cool Neutrals. Again, cool tones, neutral. So this is a concealer. You see what I mean? Like these kinds of colors. A lot of people will see them and think Ash City. And to be honest, that could be the case. But you kind of just have to find the right one for like your skin tone. Oh my god, this palette from Espar is like perfect. The Rosy Flat. Because again, those rosy pink shades, but it's like muted. So it's not like in your face pink. Because sometimes a lot of people think cool tone and they think like, oh, like bright pinks. And that's why you kind of have to be careful with cool tone eyeshadows as well, because it can end up looking very dated, like 80s, 90s, or 80s. So you need to kind of be careful about the tones that you use, but this one is perfect for every day. These are a bunch of cool tone shadows, but they're mostly like pinks and roses. But let's say you want something that's more neutral or like brown, but you don't want this. The Rome and Marlin Memikot, dry buckwheat, I think. Cool tone browns. You can see they're browns, but there's no yellow or orange or red in them. They're just like very grayish browns. So this is perfect if you want to emphasize your lip, but you feel like if you don't have any eyeshadow, you will look like sleepy or like bare face here. Also from Romand, dry lavender, I don't know. Kind of like the colors I was showing you earlier, but cool toned, violety, purpley sorts of shades. And you would think, looking at this, you would think, oh my god, that looks disgusting, which is what I thought. But putting it on my eye, it actually looks really nice. And one thing, for years, I would always say I can't wear cool tone eyeshadows because it makes me look tired. It's because my foundation, blush, and lip, and everything else was just warm toned. And then if I put a cool tone eyeshadow, obviously against all that warm tone makeup, my eyes I'm gonna look tired around my eyes. It'll just look like dark circles. So that's kind of why. But when you start using everything cool toned, it all makes sense. Oh my god, there's this really beautiful one that I recently discovered called, I did a live with Shopee, and there's this brand called Heart%, and their Dote on Mood Eye palette in #1 Rose Facets is a beautiful cool tone palette. And it's not too like ashy-ish looking like this. It's still cool tone, but it's more almost like a warm cool tone palette, if that makes sense. Like this is very, very much cool tone, right? But if you need to warm it up, but you still want it to remain in a cool tone palette, then this is a great palette. Now let's say you don't want to deal with the shipping or trying to find K-beauty stuff. I do have some Colourpop palettes that are cool tone that I think they're just easy to get and they're very affordable. Bare Necessities from Colourpop. These have a range of like the shades I was using. If compared to this, it's very much more on the cool tone side. So you get a variety with this one. What I think is the representative cool tone palette, I think from Colourpop in terms of neutrals, is the Stone Cold Fox palette. This is gorgeous. This is freaking pretty. I love this. And again, it's in that muted family right here. You can kind of see a theme going on. And then last but not least, I just want to show you this one, Flutterbye Palette. This one, this is really freaking pretty. Purpley, lavendery, sorts of muted cool tone shades. If you have more of a deeper skin tone, this would work really well. It's with Colourpop is more pigmented anyway, so you probably find more luck in these than like K-beauty stuff if you are cool tone but have more of like a deeper skin tone. Let's get right into it. I'm trying to keep this quick and simple. So there's a warm side, and it's not a bad look. It's actually really pretty. But like if we're talking about melding into my, like, if we're talking about like harmony, do you see how orange this side looks? I really want to show you this palette, the S-Bar one, so I'm gonna use the S-Bar one. It's kind of nice to be able to do makeup videos. I haven't been able to do them because if I'm honest with you, the videos I do with idols take up a lot of my time because the editing on those is way more complicated. But I don't know, I've always, my friends around me, I was like, oh my god, everyone, are you posting a makeup video? I need water. I'm using this shade as a base shade. Now, these shades are much more wearable, but when it comes to having tried more cool tone makeup lately, definitely, I feel like there's like, you have to apply them a little bit differently because it can easily make your eyes again look like, even if you are cool toned, it can kind of exasperate dark circles. So what I've noticed is kind of focusing mostly on the upper lid tends to look a little bit better. Oh, it's already so freaking light. Love it. Also, actually been a while since I've done this amount of makeup. I don't wear that much makeup these days. If you do go on the under lash line, I would keep it really close and kind of more to the outer corner. If I go any more here, it'll look very dark circle-ish. So I'm gonna stop there. With my eye shape and being more on the mute side, I've always felt this way. I felt like eyeliner doesn't really suit me. I can do it, but I tend to just use eyeshadow for eyeliner. Eyeliner is very dark, obviously, so it stands out against like a mute coloring, but it's hard to find a gray eye pencil, I've noticed. But one I found is House Labs by Gaga sent me a bunch of their pencils. This one in Street is actually gray. There's probably a lot on the market. I didn't see them. But to kind of brighten up the center, I'm gonna use this shade. And just because we can, I'm gonna use the glitter shade here. Now technically, I suit matte makeup more and shimmer isn't my best friend, but I'm gonna break the rules. It could be the technique that I use, it could be a number of things, but comparing the two, this just looks more charto, I think. It just looks like, it just suits me more, I think. This one, again, it doesn't look bad, but it really stands out. Next on, we have blush. Now blush, spoiled for blush, there's so many good options out there. The one, let's talk about the warm side. The warm side, I'm just gonna show you this one because I have so many blushes that I use on my channel, but this one was the one for me. Like it was like my insane blush, like the blush for life for me. Pear Chip from Pear, like the fruit pear chip from Romand, and this is the special edition version, but I think it's in the permanent line. But this color, it was like my fucking ride or die bitch. But you can see how yellow it is, and it really it's just like, it's a really freaking pretty color, but on me, it just stands out too much. And I just look, my Mimi would always say I look tomboy, or like damna 느낌, like I look like I'm sweaty. And there have been very many get ready videos that on my channel that looking back now, it's just like orange. This is supposed to be a really pretty like beigey, kind of like soft kind of shade, but on me it just looks like straight up orange. So it looks like a bad tan. You kind of have to be careful with cool tone blush because it can look very dated and very 80s. This is a tip I learned from Gekko, the one that she kind of like started Romand. When you have a blush, sometimes depending on the color of the blush, you might want to change the placement. Colors like this, if you go on your phone, really crazy, but the blush, do you see how compared to my skin tone, the blush looks lighter? Something that would look better on the inside of the cheek, because if you put it on the outside, it'll make it look bloated because it's just like this white ashy look. But if you have a blush that's, let's say, like this, Clinique Cheek Pop in Heather Pop, a really great product for people with summer personal colors. This one is actually darker than my skin tone. So if you compare the two, you can clearly see the chroma is different on the two of them. That's like an easy way to find out if you have a blush and you kind of don't know where to put it. So this is the blush, this is a really popular blush, Blueberry Chip. Really popular amongst cool tone people, and in general, this brand has a lot, compared to other brands, Romand has a lot more options for cool tone people. Even though cool tone makeup I think is starting to get popular, it's still, most brands will only practically mostly carry warm tone shades. So I guess it's good for us people with cool tones because it makes it easier to shop. And I have to be careful because especially when I was using blush here, like a warm tone blush, I would just like go in. With cool tone blush, wouldn't recommend it. Just a little bit. Let's take some of the Clinique one, kind of connecting it with the contour that I put on earlier. If you're kind of scared to go in, one blush I found that's really wearable because there's almost like a very slight warmth to it. The 3CE blusher in Last Time is really great because it's not insanely cool. You see there's a little bit of a warmth to it, but it makes cool blush more approachable, I guess. Another one I really like is the Peri Para Pure Blush Sunshine Cheek in #1 Calm Pink. This is really great. Time for the lips. Now the lips, I muted out my lips a little bit with a little bit of lip liner. Lips is another thing, man. I have so many warm tone lipsticks, and after I started like switching all my makeup, I tried to go through all my makeup to find all the cool tone stuff, and let me see if I can show you. I got a bunch of my cool tone lip stuff, and I am a sucker for a good lip color. To make this a good comparison, I'm using Roman. Sorry, there's so much Roman, but I feel like they're a really great brand to show comparisons between warm and cool because they always come out with warm and cool. This is from their Hanbok collection, and they came out with 4 matte tints and 4 glossy tints. Each matte one will have a matching glossy tint in a very similar color. Okay, so for the warm side, I'm using the see-through matte tint in Onion Beige. Let me swatch them for you so you can see the difference. I chose this color because it's very orange and it's something I would totally reach for back in my warm heyday. Now I kind of just avoid anything that is orange, even a little bit. That is crazy. This is like my makeup for so many years. For the cool side, see-through matte tint again in Blush Purple. This is actually a really, really pretty everyday color though. On a normal day-to-day basis, I would just stop here at the matte stage, you know, because of masks and everything. So glossy stuff is kind of useless. To show you, this is the Glassing Water Tint in Shija Beige. Similar color, is just glossy. And for the cool side, Berry Violet. I forgot about this. These are some other cool tone lip colors that I really like. The Airy Velvet. I'm not the biggest fan of this formula, but this color is really pretty. 얼굴 전제? It's #5. It's a really pretty pink rosy color. 2 really popular cool tone colors in Korea. I can't for the life of me find the other one, but from Roman is really popular with cool toned people. Oh, that's so pretty. And the formula is amazing on this. The other really popular one is Icy. I just don't have it with me right now. When you apply something like this, putting it in the center of your lips and blending it out would look really cute. Or if you want a full-on lip, you can also do that. French Pink from Chungsimbu is a really pretty, if you want like more of like a glossy tint. 3CE Cuticle from their Cloud Lip Tint. It's actually a little bit more warm, but I guess that's what makes it a little bit more easy to wear. And Fairy Cake, I like to use these together. Those two are really pretty together. This one is a really popular one as well. Pink Sand from Roman. That one's freaking pretty. Look at that. Ugh. This one is been a favorite of mine recently from Hints Allure in their Mood Enhancer Matte Lipstick. Look at the bullet in that. The bullet's so pretty. That's a really pretty kind of like nude, but like if you're into like pink nudes, because it's a little mauve shade. Oh my god, this one as well. Again, sorry, Roman. #18, Petal Tassel. This is a newer one from their one collection. That is a very fantastic everyday color, cool tone. So all really great colors. Oh, and I want to throw this one in, but it's from 3CE's like second Minnie Mouse collaboration. This lip balm. They call it lip balm, but it's more like a cushiony matte sort of like lip color in Free Ride. So cute. It's not lip balm because it doesn't really moisturize your lips at all. In fact, it kind of dries them out, but the color's pretty, so whatever. So here's the cool side, and here is the warm side. And this one doesn't look that bad, to be honest. It's just it doesn't, like, it just looks more like bam in your face. But I just find that this side is just more in harmony with my face and also my hair color, which I need to blend that fucking contour out. My battery's like dying and also my camera's overheating, so I think I'll stop here. But hopefully you get the idea. This isn't to say like, oh, you have to, if you're this, you have to do this. But I would say more so explore a little bit because a lot of people are not into cool tone makeup. So maybe, who knows? Maybe it will suit you. So yeah, I will see you with another video at some point or another fucking live. I'll see you guys later.